Officially, the PIAA playoffs begin on November 13th. But tonight, the playoffs unofficially begin here at Crawford Stadium, where two teams with identical records finish up their regular season. The last team standing goes on to the PIAA playoffs, while the loser just simply goes home. Pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Chad Powell, I'm Kyle Berger, and we're glad you could join us for tonight's matchup between the Norristown Eagles and the North Penn Knights, each who have an 8-1 record identical. Chad, tonight, it's pretty simple for both teams. Win and you're in, lose and you need a heck of a lot of help to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, Kyle, I mean, both teams, if you win, right now you're controlling your own destiny. All you can do is hope for the future, hope your team's the one that comes out on top. No, you win, you're in, like Kyle said, and if North Penn loses, Coatesville and Penridge both have to lose for them to have a slim chance to get into the playoffs.
Well, Chad, last week both teams kind of coming off of lackluster efforts. North Penn won by 1 point against Neshaminy last week, 14-13. And Norristown coming into this game coming off of a very disappointing 13-12 win against Truman. It just kind of seemed maybe that both teams were looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah, both teams were not playing so well. They looked like they were looking forward to this game a whole bunch. Just everybody was really psyched, I guess, looking forward, hoping making the playoffs.
Well, North Penn comes into this game, Chad, minus 4 starters, I should say, tonight. Mike Moore, Chris McKelvey, Martin Leonard, and Jeff Craig are all out with injuries. Explain a little bit about those injuries.
Mike Moore is out with a groin pull. Martin Leonard's out with his leg, like he's been all season. Chris McKelvey's out with a broken wrist, and Jeff Craig's out with a torn MCL.
Well, we might see all 4 of those players return next week should North Penn make the playoffs. This one figures to be a classic. I mean, it's senior night. All the seniors are being recognized. It's band night. There's going to be about a 500-member band here at halftime. We'll cover that for you. So we'll be back after this short break with the coin toss, the opening kickoff, and some keys to the game. Back after this on North Penn Television.
Over 2 million acres of our wildlands burn each year, and hundreds of homes are lost as a result.
At least 50 homes were burned to the ground. Dozens more were damaged as fires raced through dense brush and steep canyons.
Flames don't know the difference between forest, rangelands, and homes. Learn how you can fireproof your home. For more information, contact your local fire protection agency, state forestry office, or the USDA Forest Service.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
I have another cool rule about fire safety.
If you're in a fire, don't get in an elevator. Can you remember that? Be cool about fire safety.
Back now at Crawford Stadium on a very chilly November evening. Very crisp and cold, a slight breeze blowing from the far side of the field to the near side of the field. North Penn has won the toss and has elected to receive. Chad, let's quickly take a look at 3 keys to the game tonight.
North Penn has to be shutting down big plays, as does Norristown. Neither team has been giving up any big plays. North Penn needs to score first, get the momentum going for their team, and they need to play 100%.
All right, well, here you go. There you see Aaron Thomas back deep to receive. He's joined by Mike Landis. And kicking off for Norristown, number 11, Kevin Quaglia, a senior kicker. So North Penn will get the ball right away. Talking to Coach Pettin, we'll hear from him at halftime on Coach's Corner. He had told me that they're going to look to try to run some ball control offense against Norristown and slow down this pace. Pretty much, Chad, this Norristown team is a track team in pads. Here's a short kickoff. It bounces twice and is taken by Mike Landis. Nowhere to go. Knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. North Penn had a wall to the near side set up, but went to the far side, so nothing there for the Knights. Let's quickly take a look at the North Penn starting lineups. Up front for the Knights, the left tackle is Matt Bargwin, Corey Jackson, Dan Chang, Dave Koslow, Jeff Michael, and Matt Hertz are the rest of the offensive line. The defensive line for Norristown, Mike Wilson, Doug White, Mike Guignard, Yaboa Cabald, and Warren Burke. 1st and 10 for the Knights here at Crawford Stadium. The first play of the game is surrounded by some confusion for the Knights, looking to see where to set up. Now they'll go into motion. Heike Johnson will settle at halfback. At quarterback is Joe Talese, and it will be a play-action pass. Talese rolls left, firing deep, has Thomas. He's open, he caught it, and he's out to the 45-yard. We're back now at Crawford Stadium. We had a bit of a power outage. We apologize for that. We'll pick it up. 1st and 10, North Penn. Heike Johnson picks up about 5 yards on that play. You just missed maybe about 5 or 6 plays. Nothing real huge happened. North Penn just converted a 3rd down, getting a 5-and-out play from Joe Talese to Evan Fitzpatrick. Right now it is 2nd and 6 for North Penn at the Norristown 22-yard line. Chad, North Penn moving the ball well in this drive.
Yeah, they did exactly what we were talking about in pregame, coming out and using some little ball control, running the ball, passing the ball if they have to.
Well, it is 2nd and 6 now. Corey Jackson lined up as a power back in the backfield, number 71. Here's Talese on the keeper, wrapped up in the backfield and dropped by Norristown's number 30, Jameel Butler. Talese maybe picked up a yard on that, 1.5 yards. It'll be 3rd and a long 4 for North Penn. Clock rolling, 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Still scoreless here at Crawford Stadium. North Penn comes to the ball. They try to convert this one. They're pretty much out of the range of Wes Heinel right now. Fitzpatrick split out far to the right side. Could see a pass to him here. No, it's a handoff up the middle to Heike Johnson. He cuts through and gets down inside the 10. 1st and goal for the Knights. A big play by Heike Johnson. First and goal for the Knights at the 10-yard line. So North Penn doing exactly what they wanted to do here. They've already used almost 1/2 of the first quarter, and they've marched right down the field. They've gone 70 yards already on this drive, mixing up the play calling real well. Good job by Coach Pettin calling those plays for the Knights, and they have 1st and goal, a good opportunity early on. Backs are in a split formation, and North Penn's going to call timeout. Took a little too long getting that play in.
Well, no, not only Kyle, they've been changing up their plays. They've been changing up their formations as well, trying to show Norristown a little bit different look.
Yeah, well, that's what we've seen from North Penn. And, you know, without Chris McKelvey in there, and, you know, talking to Coach Pettin, he had told me this. Last week against Neshaminy, Chris McKelvey went down in the first quarter, and North Penn had a game plan to play the Redskins with McKelvey in the lineup, so they had more of the off-tackle plays being put into their offensive package. This week, they knew going into this week that Chris McKelvey was not going to be playing for them, so they went ahead and made a game plan without McKelvey in the lineup, and we've seen a lot more varied play calling. First play of the game was that rollout pass by Talese, and he gets 20, 25 yards on that play. So what we've seen from North Penn here is not your basic I-veer, which has been their bread and butter play all season, the off tackle, but we have seen a lot. I mean, we haven't seen the same play twice for the most part tonight, and they're on their opening drive, 1st and goal. If they can come up with a touchdown here on the opening drive, that'll really send a message to the Eagles that they're in this for the long run.
Well, it seems like right now North Penn's coming out and just trying to prove that they can beat Norristown, and they might even have a chance to beat CB West if they meet in the playoffs.
That's a matchup, Chad, that a lot of people have been anticipating, but the Knights cannot look past tonight's game. This is their season right here. As you said at the top of the show, they control their own destiny. Here's a pitch out to Heike Johnson. Gets a pancake block from Mike Capusta, but good pursuit by number 78, Doug White. That's 305 pounds of man tackling Heike Johnson right there. Doug White, one of the bigger players in Suburban 1 football. But showing good speed there. He came from the backside on that play and made that tackle.
Well, North Penn didn't really help themselves too much on that play, running to the short side of the field and then give Heike Johnson too much of a chance to bounce it outside.
5.5 to go in the opening quarter. Still scoreless. 2nd and goal for North Penn. Ball is just outside the 10-yard line as they lost about a half a yard on that play. Backs are in a split formation. Aaron Thomas in the near slot. Fitzpatrick split to the far side. False start by the Knights. It looked like Jeff Michael, the right tackle, had moved. Flags are all over the place. Should be against North Penn. And it is. So these penalties inside the red zone have hurt the Knights this season. And it'll be second and goal from the 15-yard line. Penalties are always a key in the game, Chad, and North Penn hasn't been hurt by penalties that much this season. But in a game like this, every yard counts, and you cannot be giving Norristown free yardage just by false starting and not knowing the snap count.
Well, their last home game, they had 3 straight penalties inside the 10-yard line, brought them back out to around the 40.
And North Penn obviously hoping not to do that right now. Now the Knights will go into shotgun formation. Kapus to the single back in the backfield. Thomas, Johnson, Colinello. It's a quarterback draw, and Talese picks up 5 or 6 yards. He's close to the 10-yard line, where it will be third and goal. So a tough call here for Coach Pettin. Tried to catch Norristown off guard thinking pass and then went to the quarterback draw. It'll be third and goal from the 11-yard line. Mike Landis checks in for the Knights. He's been used sparingly this year, but more often in the past couple weeks. Had a couple big runs against Pennsbury, a couple big runs against CB West, and an official's timeout now on the field. Appears to be an equipment problem with one of the Norristown defensive linemen. So that'll give North Penn a bit of a breather, and they'll change up formation, bringing out Colinello and Landis and putting in Matt Hertz and Mike Kapusta. So going from a quick formation to a power formation, we might see North Penn run the football, whereas with that pass formation, they might have started to throw the ball to the end zone. So the Norristown defense trying to get a big stand here in the first drive of the game. North Penn is driven with ease down to the Norristown 10-yard line. Here's a pass. It's a fade pattern to Fitzpatrick. Dropped in the end zone. Good defense on that play by Troy Swittenberg. Good ball by Talese, maybe just a bit too high in the air. Gave Swittenberg time to get into the face of Evan Fitzpatrick, and it'll be fourth and goal from the 11. North Penn will come on to kick a field goal.
Well, that's a hard ball to catch. You're running back into the corner of the end zone. You turn around to see where the ball is, and all you see is the defender. You pretty much just jump, put your hands in the air, and hope that your feet land in the end zone.
On to kick for North Penn is number 7, Wes Heinel, a new personnel change in the North Penn offense as of last week against Neshaminy is John Corson, the holder. Ball is spotted, kick is up. It is shanked off the side of his foot, and it is no good, wide right. So Wes Heinel misses a relatively easy 25-yard field goal, and Norristown will take over on its own 11-yard line. I'm sorry, I'll be on the 20-yard line because a missed field goal inside the 20 is just like a touchback. So first and 10 for the Eagles on their own 20-yard line. A look at the offensive line for Norristown. Moving from left to right, number 56, Brown, number 66, Cobbold, number 71, Guinard, 78, White, 51, Ellis, and the tight end is Kinlock. At quarterback for the Eagles is number 13, the senior, Chris Blake, who has one of the better arms in Suburban 1. Here's a quick handoff up the middle to the fullback on the play, number 3, Damian Johnson. Doesn't go too far, maybe picks up a yard, and is met by the North Penn defensive line. 2nd and 9 for the Eagles. The main focal point of the Norristown offense is number 1, Troy Swittenberg, a junior running back who is, you could compare him to High-Key Johnson. He's more of a compact form of High-Key Johnson. Both junior running backs, both 2 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and both are the main parts of their team's offense. Norristown lines up in an I formation. Johnson in front of Swittenberg. Here's a quick pass, complete on a quick slant pass to number 11, Kevin Quagley. I beg your pardon, it's number 17, James Edmonds. He's close to a first down. They're going to measure. No, they don't. 1st and 10, Norristown. Ball at their own 30-yard line. Chad, Norristown, we'll see tonight, runs probably the most similar to a pro-style offense out of all the teams in the Suburban 1 Power 10. You usually see a lot of big rushing teams in the Power 10, but Norristown really mixes it up. They throw the ball almost as often as they run it. 1st and 10, it's a play-action pass. Good fake by Blake. He's got a man going down the sideline. He runs in to Mike Landis. That's going to be incidental contact. The ball was probably out of bounds anyway. Begging for a flag was Edmonds, but he won't get one. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Knights might have caught a little bit of a break there, Ched.
Well, there is no real reason to call a penalty right there. Both players are running down the field looking for the ball. Their heads are turned. They can't really see each other. It's kind of like you put your hand out and try and feel where the other person is and look for the ball at the same time.
It'll be 2nd and 10 for Norristown on their own 30-yard line. Backs in an open formation. Here's a quick counter to Troy Swittenberg. Oh, he has room up the middle. Look at him go. Makes a move and is finally driven down from behind by Clay Kucklick. A 17-yard gain for Swittenberg out to the 48-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. That blocking hole sure opened up there for Norristown, and Swittenberg was into the North Penn secondary before the Knights knew what hit them. It appeared to me on that play, Chad, that Dave Koslow got double-teamed on the line, and Swittenberg just simply ran by him. Not much Koslow could do there. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Here goes Swittenberg off left tackle. Makes another cut. Man, he is a dangerous running back. Picks up 9 yards. Swittenberg running real low to the ground and making some lightning-quick cuts. And is finally brought down by North Penn. An 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2 for the Eagles into North Penn territory, just inside the 45-yard line of the Knights.
Well, it looks like he's really helping him. His line's firing off the ball. Everybody's picking up a guy and blocking somebody.
Minute 50 to go here in the opening quarter. Still scoreless as Norristown is putting together a nice long drive of its own. There's a draw up the middle. Swittenberg met in the backfield and driven down by Dave Koslow. It'll be 3rd and short for the Eagles. This will be a tough play call. Norristown does boast a 305-pound lineman in Doug White, who's one of the captains of the team. But for the most part, when you look at the Norristown lineup, North Penn should match up favorably with them. Doug White is the right guard, but the guy lining up next to him, number 51, Troy Ellis, is only 180 pounds, so there's a big imbalance of weight on the offensive line. Big play for both teams here early on. 3rd and short at the 44-yard line. Back to pass is Blake. It's a 5 and in. Wide open is Edmonds. And he gets outside Clay Kucklick and gets down inside deep North Penn territory at the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for Norristown. It looked like Mike Landis, who was lined up against Edmonds, gave him a nice little 5 or 10-yard cushion off the ball. All Edmonds had to do was take a couple steps, turn around, and he's wide open for the first.
Well, that's the North Penn's defense. They play the zone defense, which usually means the middle of the field, the flats is open.
So Norristown possibly catching North Penn off guard. Anyway, it is 1st and 10 for the Eagles at the 25-yard line of the Knights. Blake with the pump fake. He's going for the end zone. And it is deflected nicely by Aaron Thomas, looking for Damian Sullivan, who is in the end zone, but Aaron Thomas does a nice job of playing center field and just tapping it away. What we've seen so far, Chad, Chris Blake is throwing real well for the Norristown Eagles. He is one of the premier quarterbacks in the league. Let's take a quick look at that play, and we'll watch Aaron Thomas playing defense here, doing a nice job. And it looked like if he doesn't get his hand in there, Solomon's going to catch that ball. 2nd and 10 for the Eagles at the 25-yard line in North Penn. 47 seconds to go in the first quarter. Blake audibilizing at the line. He'll take a draw up the middle to Swittenberg. This is wide open, and he is gone. Touchdown, Eagles. Troy Swittenberg right up the gut of the North Penn defense, and Norristown is into the lead, 6-0.
It's like I was saying earlier, Kyle, the offensive line's firing off the ball, and they just keep opening up holes.
Troy Swittenberg visibly pumped up, getting the game's first points on the board, and that draw was just wide open. Norristown on to attempt the point after. Kicking for the Eagles is number 80, Terry Pearson, and Chris Blake, the quarterback, will hold. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and it is good. 7-0, Norristown is into the lead with 40 seconds to go. Chad, here's a look at this draw up the middle, and Swittenberg, for the most part, untouched, just drags Heike Johnson into the end zone. And as we said, visibly pumped up, doing a little Keyshawn Johnson in the end zone. It's 7-0 Norristown into an early lead. So Chad, North Penn right away got the ball, went all the way down the field, and just simply stalled. That false start penalty seemed to hurt them. Dropped him back to the 15-yard line. And then they turn the ball over to Norristown on a missed field goal. Don't get any points on the board. Eagles come right down the field, get on the board, 7-0. And as we said, Chad, North Penn wanted to get on the board first. They had the chance. They didn't do it. So now they have to play catch-up.
Yeah, North Penn could be in real trouble here. Norristown is not a team you want to try and play catch-up to.
So North Penn trying to get better field position than they did after the opening kickoff. Aaron Thomas and Mike Landis are the deep men for the night, standing at their 10-yard line. And kicking for Norristown is Kevin Quaglia. It appeared that his kick might have been intentionally placed to the far side of the field, kicking away from the wall that North Penn usually sets up to the near side. We'll see what they do on this kickoff. Quaglia approaches the ball, and he will tow it into the same exact spot. This one might go out of bounds, and it does. That'll be a procedure penalty against Norristown. So Quaglia purposely kicking away from Aaron Thomas draws the penalty, and North Penn will have good field position to start their drive on the 35-yard line.
It looks to me like Norristown's doing on their kickoff is stacking the left side of the field, maybe hoping that the kicker can drop the ball into a pocket and one of their players can get to it.
We've seen CB West do that, not against North Penn, but against their game against Neshaminy. They scored 3 straight touchdowns without the Redskins even touching the ball. They did not kick onside, but they placed their kicks well, and Neshaminy couldn't find the handle on them, and the Bucks recovered and scored 3 straight touchdowns before they knew what hit them. 1st and 10 North Penn at their own 35-yard line, backs in the I formation. Here's the inside reverse to Aaron Thomas, and Norristown had that one read. They almost knew that one was coming. Picking up the big stop on that play is number 71, Mike Guignard. Almost seemed to me that Guignard was in the huddle and knew what was coming.
North Penn has been using that play as a motivational boost to get everybody going.
Yeah, Aaron Thomas did run one of those for 98 yards against Abington. We'll hear from him at halftime on Coach's Corner, talking about his running. There are only 5 seconds on the clock here, and North Penn does not have to run a play, and I think that will just bring a closure to the opening 12 minutes of play here at Crawford Stadium. And North Penn finds themselves down 7-0 after making a big drive down the field, giving it back to Norristown, and Troy Swittenberg with a big run up the middle, getting the opening score of this game, and the score is 7-0 after 12 minutes here at Crawford Stadium. We will be back with the second quarter after this short break on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Back now at Crawford Stadium. That was the first play of the second quarter, an incomplete pass intended for Evan Fitzpatrick, thrown by Joe Talese. It will be 3rd and long for the Knights, 3rd and 12. We might see this out and up play that we saw against Penn Ridge in the first game of the season here, Chad.
Well, it's twice North Penn's come out and opened up with that play, Kyle.
Well, North Penn trying to at least battle for field position right now, although it didn't seem to matter against Norristown on that opening drive. We'll go into the shotgun formation and stack 4 players. Aaron Thomas went into motion but reset himself, so no penalty. Now the flag is thrown Talese fires incomplete to Evan Fitzpatrick, so that penalty will be declined anyway. That ball looked catchable, but Fitzpatrick just dropped it. Officials discussing the infraction here. And it is 2 men in motion against North Penn, an illegal shift. You cannot have 2 players in motion when the ball is snapped, so Norristown will most likely decline that penalty to give North Penn a 4th down situation, and they will bring in the punt team, John Corson, on to kick for the Knights. So North Penn goes 3 and out on their second possession, a stark contrast to the first possession in which they went 70 yards down the field. We'll call it 4th and 12 from the 33-yard line. Officials blowing their whistles. A timeout Norristown. Might not have had the right personnel on the field. They could have had too many. I'm not sure. Well, Chad, looking at the seniority factor in this game, it usually isn't that big of a factor, but it's just kind of interesting. North Penn has 12 seniors on their roster, and they're all honored here tonight. Senior night, Norristown, 10 seniors on their offensive starting lineup. That's 10 out of 11. So that just goes to show you, Chad, it shows you 2 things. Norristown is obviously has a lot of leadership on their offense and on their defense as well, where they have 8 seniors starting. But North Penn, for the most part, all their skill positions on offense are underclassmen, mostly juniors. So you got to expect big things from this team next year. Corson back to punt. Dave Messerschmidt is the long snapper for the Knights. It's a good snap. Not a good punt by Corson, kind of shanked. And it is taken by number 5 for Norristown, Audley Stewart, and met by the long snapper, Dave Messerschmidt, who covered a lot of ground there for the Knights and made the tackle. No return on that play. 1st and 10 for the Eagles on the 34-yard line.
I have a feeling Kyle Stewart's going to be hearing it from his coach when he gets back to the sideline. He should have let that one go.
Yeah, you usually don't want to risk fumbling the ball when it's wobbling around like that, but he picked it up anyway. Audley Stewart is really a dangerous running back. When Troy Swittenberg went down with an injury earlier this year and had to miss a game, Audley Stewart stepped right up and had 236 yards in his game. He only started 1 game, played the entire game, and got over 200 yards. So really, you might see Stewart actually come in for Swittenberg if they need him, just to change things up in this game. Here's a draw up the middle to Swittenberg. He's met by Mike Kapusta and thrown backwards, picking up about 1.5 yards on that play. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. So really, Chad, it looks like North Penn is having a tough time struggling to adjust to Norristown's play calling. They've been varying it up against CB West. We saw pretty much every play it's going to go to Dustin Picciotti up the middle. They could key on him, and they did. But against Norristown, you don't know where the ball's going to go on any given play. It just seems that they're struggling out there. Ball is spotted at the Norristown 35-yard line, 2nd and a long 8. Back to pass is Blake, fires over the middle, and it is incomplete. That pass intended for number 82, Josh Kinlock, the tight end. Mike Kapusta, the closest defender for the Knights.
Kyle, as you were saying, like, they're not adjusting too well to the running back or the pass. This is probably the smallest running back they've seen all year. They've been trying to defend against all these big running backs that are fast, but not as fast as Swindenberg.
3rd and 9, North Penn trying to force Norristown into a 3-and-out situation. The ball is at the 35-yard line of the Eagles. Blake is back to pass, pressure coming. It's a screen to Johnson, and he is close to the 1st down. I don't think he got it. That play was set up real well. And I went to Darrell Johnston, and he is extremely close to the 1st down. We might see a measurement.
Well, Blake held on to that ball as long as he could, and he paid for it at the end.
Yeah, North Penn bringing 3 players into the backfield on blitz. And that's the idea of the screen pass. When you're expecting a blitz, you let everybody come up and then just dump the ball off to the fullback. And he got close to 9 yards on that play. Here's the measurement. And it appears that Norristown is about a half a yard short of a 1st down. You would imagine they'd punt here, Chad, early in the game, still the 2nd quarter, only up by 7 in their own territory. I would be very surprised to see Norristown go for it.
I think they might go for it. North Penn on their second drive didn't come out and move the ball too well. And Norristown, as we've seen, has been getting 17, 20 yards on their runs.
I'll tell you what, Chad, if they go for it here and don't miss it, North Penn has excellent field position. They'll have the ball inside the 45 of Norristown, and a big momentum boost can come from defensive stands right here. So Norristown lines up in formation to go for it. Crowd starting to make some noise here at Crawford Stadium. Backs in the I formation. Swittenberg behind Johnson. Strategy there by Norristown, and that's a good decision by the coach. They used their second timeout, and what they're going to do here, I would assume, is they tried to get a long count there, maybe draw North Penn off sides, get a cheap first down out of it. But right now, they're probably going to punt the ball, just concede the punt here, and just turn the ball over to North Penn. You see a lot of teams in the NFL do that on 4th and short situations around midfield. They'll fake to go for it. The quarterback, Blake, will give a hard count, try to get the North Penn defensive line to jump. They didn't, showing good discipline, and now the Eagles will most likely punt. Clock is stopped with 10:14 to go in the opening quarter. The Eagles have a 7-0 lead over the Knights here at Crawford Stadium. I would say it's probably about 38 or 40 degrees out here, Chad. It is really cold out here. Players running around trying to stay warm on the sideline. Well, I'm going to eat my words here as Norristown lines up to go for it again. I'm really surprised by this. An aggressive coaching decision. It's going to go to Swittenberg. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a 1-yard gain and a first down. So Coach Roger Grove, in his 23rd season as coach of the Eagles, just went right ahead and went for it. A gutsy call, but with his season on the line, as is for both teams, he decided to go for the first down. So it is 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 46-yard line. Starting to wind the clock down. Although the clock was not running right there, as soon as the chains are spotted, the play clock should start running, and the officials are running the game clock right now. About a 5-second adjustment made to the clock. Handoff up the middle quickly to Johnson, and he is loose into the backfield of North Penn. A 15 or 16-yard gain before he's stopped by Mike Colinello. Norristown is running the ball at will against the Knights, and I am very surprised by that, Chad.
Well, it's like I was saying earlier, these running backs are two of the smaller running backs in the league compared to CB West and East and a lot of the other teams whose running backs go about 6'3", 250. I mean, you can see who's getting the ball behind the line and pretty much just zone in on them. These guys are so small, they hit the hole with speed and nobody can catch up to them.
Well, we saw North Penn start the game with a 4-man front. Now they're into a 5-man front, putting Fran Mahan at the nose guard position. Now Blake is back on a 3-step drop. He's in the pocket and firing over the middle and complete to number 17, Edmonds. He just made a nice little post route on Heike Johnson, got him turned inside out, and he's down to inside the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Eagles, a big play.
Edmonds seems to be their go-to guy for long distance.
And Chad, we were talking before the game, Edmonds is a big guy. He is 6'2", 195. He's bigger than both of their running backs. And he just kind of stands tall out there for the Eagles, and he's an easy target for Blake to throw to, who Blake is no small guy either. He's the same size. Exactly, 6'2", 185. Up the middle is Johnson, and he's met in the backfield by Colinello and Capusta. I beg your pardon, that was Troy Swittenberg, but nonetheless, it is 2nd and goal from just outside the 10-yard line for Norristown. They can come away with a touchdown here. North Penn is going to really have their work cut out for them. So Norristown approaches the ball. They will split Edmonds out to the far side. Backs lined up in the I formation. In the near slot is number 9, Trey Hadrick. He goes into motion. And it's a pitch out to Swittenberg. He spins, slashes, and is tackled down at the 4-yard line by the Knights defense. Corey Jackson finally caught up with him. it just seems that Troy Swittenberg is always falling forward, and it seems that even when he looks like he's about to go down, he finds another 2 or 3 yards in second effort. So 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line of North Penn. Norristown trying to punch it in here to get into the lead. A bigger lead, I should say. They're going to go with 2 wide receivers. Out far to the far side is Damian Solomon, and into the near side is Edmonds. Blake, 3-step drop, corner route. It is tipped and caught for a touchdown on the far side by Solomon. Somehow he got his feet in bounds. Good concentration there. Is coverage by Aaron Thomas, but Solomon comes down with the ball, and Blake finds his man for his first passing touchdown of the game.
I think the refs might have ruled that he was shoved out of bounds, which in the NFL consists of a touchdown.
Well, Chad, actually that rule does not exist in high school. You have to have a foot in. You cannot be shoved out of bounds. That's just an NFL rule. So you have to have, the only difference really is you have to have 1 foot in instead of 2, but there is no being shoved out of bounds. On the kick is Terry Pearson, number 80. Blake's spot is down, the kick is up, and it is good. 14-0 Norristown, shocking North Penn early on. Here's a look at that pass from Blake to Solomon. Good coverage here by Thomas, and you just see the height of Solomon. He's 6'2", Norristown boasting several 6-foot-tall wide receivers. And you throw a ball up for grabs, 6'2" beats 5'11" any day, Chad. That's a good 3 inches. And it just looked like Damian Solomon outleapt Aaron Thomas and got behind him. And a good ball thrown by Blake where only Solomon could throw it. So here we have it, 14-0 Norristown into the lead. North Penn is fighting for its season right now. Granted, they have over 2.5 quarters left to play, but still, they have to get, they cannot be down by 14 at halftime. They really need to get a touchdown before this half is over to get themselves back in this ball game. We saw 2 weeks ago against CB East, North Penn pulled the same thing against CB East, except they were on the upside of the scoreboard. They were up at halftime 21-0, and CB East didn't even know what to do. They didn't score until late in the 4th quarter. North Penn really has to come back now and put some points on the board.
Well, North Penn needs a big return out of Aaron Thomas or Landis to get a little motivation going for the team. I'm sure everybody down there is cold. I mean, best thing you could do is go out and hit somebody, warm your body up a little.
Well, Chad, as you said, Norristown stacking that left side of their line on the kickoff. We'll see if they keep kicking it over there, and they do. This one will be taken by Landis at his 19-yard line. He has a wall of blockers, and he is tackled by number 31, Donovan Palmer. 1st and 10, North Penn. Their best starting field position yet at the 36-yard line. And they will take over with 7:16 left on the clock. And they have 2 timeouts remaining. Norristown has 1 timeout remaining. Of course, Chad, Heike Johnson did not play last year in the North Penn Norristown game, which was a wild one on Halloween night in Norristown. A 42-35 victory for the Eagles in double overtime. So North Penn now with Johnson in the lineup. That could be the X factor in tonight's game. Here he goes off tackle. And he falls forward, picking up about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4 for the Knights. Tackle made on the play by Jameel Butler, number 30.
Well, it seems like both teams are doing the same thing with the running backs falling forward. Neither team's making a lot of gang tackles. It seems like a lot of individuals.
Yeah, it always appears that somebody will get that initial hit on the running back, but nobody's there to back him up. And with the running backs the caliber of Johnson and Swittenberg, one person is not going to bring them down. Here's the same exact play to Heike Johnson. He is met and driven backwards. Flag on the play. This could be holding against North Penn. Judging from where that was thrown, maybe even a face mask. We'll see. It is holding against North Penn. We'll see if we can pick that up on our replay. Just the eye veer to the right side, and I couldn't pick it up. It might have been Koslow. It just looked like he flat out pancaked his kid, but might have been illegally done. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, so it will be about 2nd and 11 for North Penn. So, Chad, 2 penalties now for North Penn coming at crucial situations.
I won't be surprised if we saw North Penn come out and run that up and out pass.
Yeah, we might see that here, 2nd and long. Although that I-veer was there. We saw it on 1st down. They ran it for 4 yards, got 3 more on 2nd. But that play was for naught as the penalty against the Knights. Now they go into the shotgun formation. Aaron Thomas split to the far side. Johnson in the slot. And Talese back to pass. It's a quick pass over the middle, almost picked off by Butler. He was looking for a quick streak pass to Matt Hertz right up the middle, but he kind of threw it a little too far in front of him, and good defense by Butler. That could quite easily have been a touchdown for Norristown if he picks that off.
Well, or the other way around. If Matt Hertz would have caught it, there was really nobody around there.
Yeah, Norristown plays a 5-2 cover 2 defense, and anytime you have cover 2, the 15 yards out from the line of scrimmage in between the hash marks is usually wide open, especially if you have wide receivers split to either side, and North Penn will have 5 wide receivers on this play. Talese is the only man in the backfield, but now Kapusta will come back to block for him. Talese, plenty of time. He's going deep. He's got Fitzpatrick. It is caught inbounds, and he's still in. He breaks free and is tackled by Swittenberg at the 24-yard line. 1st and 10, North Penn. Good concentration by Fitzpatrick, and North Penn picks up a big play when they need it the most, and they have a 1st down. Here's a quick look at that replay, and you'll watch Talese probably has close to 4 seconds to throw the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, plenty of time to throw that ball. That's all you can ask for. And over Swittenberg, Fitzpatrick breaks free and gets 15 more yards after the catch. So North Penn down inside the 25-yard line of Norristown, where they have 1st and 10, clock running, 5:45 to go in the 1st half.
Well, that's a big play right there for North Penn. As we were saying in pregame, no team can give up big plays.
Here's Heike Johnson off tackle. He breaks through the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet somehow, and gets inside the 10-yard line. An incredible run by Heike Johnson down to the 8-yard line of Norristown.
And there's the reason why I can't give up the big plays. It gives the other team tons of motivation. They can just keep rolling on you.
Somehow on that play, Heike Johnson just kind of stayed on his feet. It looked like he was about to fall over, and it almost looked like he grew a 3rd leg on this play to keep himself up right there. That's just amazing balance. You can't teach that. That's just plain instinct. 1st and goal for the Knights at the 7-yard line, looking to punch it in and get on the boards. Here goes Joe Talese. He's wrapped up in the backfield fighting for yardage and is finally tackled by Mike Gwynyard, number 71, in the backfield. No gain on that play, still at the 7-yard line. On the sideline for North Penn, number 3, Mike Colinello is being attended to by Dave DeFusco, the trainer for North Penn. Looks like he's working on his neck. I can't tell. So it is 5 minutes to go. 2nd and goal from the 8 for North Penn. They trail by 14, looking to finally get some points on the board after stalling on their opening drive. North Penn in an open formation. Now they'll switch it up. Backs in an open set. Johnson lined up at tailback. Here's Joe Talese rolling left. Pump fake. Fire to Kapusta into the end zone. Is it caught? Waiting for a signal. It is caught, but not into the end zone. They are down to the 1-yard line, it appears. Just short of the end zone. Here's a look at this play to Mike Kapusta. Just a quick little flat pass to the fullback. Talese trying to buy some time. And Kapusta just met before he could get into the end zone. A good play by the Norristown defense. 3rd and goal from the 1-foot line. The nose of the football is pretty much on the goal line. North Penn might just sneak it here with Talese. They're going to go into a very tight formation. Double tight end. Up the middle to Kapusta. Touchdown Knights. Mike Kapusta there on the board. 14-6. Norristown still in the lead. But North Penn gets that all-important 1st touchdown after putting together a couple big plays and getting into the red zone. North Penn finally punches it in, and they're back within 8 with the extra point to follow.
Now they just need to hold Norristown from scoring with only 4:26 left on the clock.
Yeah, that would be huge for North Penn to get a 3-and-out out of Norristown and even get another score before this half is over. Ball is spotted by Corson. The kick is up, and it is good. 14-7 is the score. Let's take a look at the 1-yard plunge by Mike Kapusta. Simply up the middle, he just falls forward, only had to get about a foot on it. That's not asking too much, and he just busted it into the end zone. And it is 14-7 with 4:26 to go in the opening half. North Penn's kickoff team has their first opportunity to make an impact in tonight's game. Usually, Chad, you see the kickoff coverage guys are some of the most insane guys on the team. They play to get the big hits, and namely Larry Cannon, number 15 of the Knights, is a maniac out there. And so is Sid Anand, number 5, who's the outside man for the Knights on the far side. He's their third-string quarterback, but he plays like a linebacker on kickoff coverage. Usually these guys come up with big hits, and that can set the tone for the rest of this ball game.
Oh, there's nothing more fun than planting your helmet right in the chest of the other opposing team's runner and just running them over.
The two dangerous backs, Troy Swittenberg and Audley Stewart, are back to receive for the Eagles as Wes Heinel approaches the ball. And it is a high, deep kick, driving Stewart back to the 5-yard line, and he falls down. Ball is dead on the 5-yard line. A huge break for North Penn as Audley Stewart tripped over the 5-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They are pinned down in the shadows of their own goalposts here. It just appeared that Audley Stewart simply tripped up. He was off balance. He was driven back by the kick. And Coach Pettin's troops are in good position here to possibly just pin Norristown down. And if they can hold Norristown deep here, they'll be punting out of their own end zone, and North Penn will be guaranteed good field position. 4:24 to go in the second quarter. North Penn trails by 7. Norristown will spread out the field, sending Solomon to the far side and Edmonds to the near side. Swittenberg, the deep man, and it will go to him off tackle and met from behind by Mike Kapusta after only a 1 or 2 yard gain. It is Swittenberg. And really, Chad, after the touchdown, the crowd had a big swell, and it has not died down yet. That big, not a turnover, but a big turn of events on the kickoff has kept this crowd into this game. And one thing Coach Pettin said works to the Knights' advantage is having a huge crowd, and they do have a huge crowd here tonight. There are almost as many people here as there were at the West game.
Well, having a huge crowd usually helps out your team a lot. I mean, if they start cheering for your team, gets the rest of your team up and going, and they start yelling and screaming, everybody just starts going crazy.
And they're cheering for big defense right now. 2nd and 9 from their own 7. Goes Norristown. Swittenberg up the middle. He breaks free. He is still going. He is out to the 30-yard line. A 23-yard gain by the junior running back. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They got out of jail real quick right there, Chad. They are now into respectable field position at their own 30-yard line. Let's take a look at Troy Swittenberg just bust up the middle on the quick pitch. Watch Swittenberg make the cut right here. He just turns on the speed, and downfield blocking, there's nobody there for North Penn. It appears that the linebackers just got taken out of that play, as once Swittenberg got by the defensive line of North Penn, he was home free. 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 30-yard line. Back goes Blake. It's a draw up the middle. It goes to Johnson and tripped up after a 2-yard gain by Mike Collinello, who is back into the game for North Penn, along with Clay Kucklick. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. Just over 3 minutes to go in the opening half here at a very chilly Crawford Stadium.
North Penn's real lucky right now. That wasn't a pass play. Both defensive backs tripped down the field, and receivers for Norristown were wide open.
Well, Chad, that was the same exact play, except it was a different runner that Swittenberg scored on early in the game. Here is a play-action pass. Blake is going deep, throws into coverage. Collinello is burnt on that play by James Edmonds, and he is down to the 25-yard line. It looked like Collinello looked up looking for the ball, and then before he knew it, Edmonds was 5 yards behind him. And once again, a beautiful ball thrown by Chris Blake. 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Well, that was an amazing catch by Edmonds. He just put his hands up and the ball fell right in.
Here's that pass. Blake had plenty of time to throw it, a tight spiral, and a beautiful over-the-shoulder Willie Mays catch by Jim Edmonds. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. There's the big play we're talking about, Chad. Norristown got it when they needed it. Ball is deep into North Penn territory at the 25-yard line. Backs in the I formation. It's an option. It goes to Swittenberg. North Penn has nobody out there to cover it. Swittenberg turns the corner and is run out of bounds by Aaron Thomas, but not before picking up close to 7 yards on that play. Quite simply, you need 2 players to cover the option, and North Penn left Dan Chang out to dry there as he was the only player covering for the Knights.
Well, Kapusta started to come up the field and challenge the quarterback, and then once he dumped it off, he tried to take out the lead blocker, and it just didn't work.
2nd and 3 for the Norristown Eagles at the 18-yard line of North Penn. Once again, the Eagles spreading the field with Hadrick and Solomon lined up as wide receivers. Blake will quickly give up the middle, and he is nearly decapitated by the North Penn defensive line. Mike Kapusta flattens him right at the line of scrimmage for a loss of one yard. That's a big hit right there by Kapusta. And Kapusta is basically a headhunter out there for North Penn, middle linebacker, and he definitely has the mentality of somebody that should be playing linebacker. He looks for the big hit on every play and really delivered the blow on that play. 3rd and 4 for the Eagles, a minute 35 to go in the first half. Ball is at the North Penn 18-yard line. It's a pitch out to Swittenberg, and he cuts up the middle. He has blockers. He falls forward inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal for the Eagles. Swittenberg really having a heck of a game here in the first half. He makes that one cut at the line of scrimmage, and he gets 10 yards. North Penn just has to maybe just shadow Swittenberg with a player. I mean, they keep giving up 10, 15 yards a carry to Swittenberg. They're not going to win this ball game.
Well, it's kind of hard to shadow him with North Penn missing Mike Moore. I mean, you don't really have anybody you can spare.
Here's Swittenberg up the middle. He's met at the line of scrimmage by a host of North Penn players. It looked like Jeff Michael was in on that tackle, as well as Mike Kapusta. No gain on the play. It'll still be 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Clock running, under a minute to go in the first half. The Eagles have 1 timeout left, and North Penn has 2 timeouts left. Backs will go into the I formation. Norristown will split. Edmonds out to the far side. It's an option. It goes to Swittenberg. Ball is loose, but Swittenberg falls on his own fumble. That could have been huge right there, Chad. That should wrap up the first half, unless Norristown's going to call timeout. And Norristown does call timeout, stopping the clock with 23 seconds left. Good coverage by Mike Colonello on that play. He did it all. The only man out there on the option, and he somehow managed to force a fumble from Troy Swittenberg, and that was the first fumble of the game by either team. That Norristown did recover, and they will have the ball at the North Penn 9-yard line when we come back from this timeout. 23 seconds to go in the first half. North Penn trails by 7. If they can hold Norristown to a field goal here, that'll keep them in the game. Being down by 14 points at halftime to Norristown is a pretty tall order, especially when you have to kick off to start the second half, as North Penn will.
Well, Swittenberg on that fumble got really lucky. I mean, it took a high bounce for him, and it seemed to be rolling his way. And as Colonello was dragging him down, he stuck his hands out and grabbed it and pulled it back in before anybody else could get to it.
Well, there's a full moon out tonight over Crawford Stadium, and that means strange things will be happening. So you never know what's going to happen here in this great game of football. 14-7 is the score. It's anybody's game at this point. And it might be wild before this thing's over. As we said, 2 overtimes. This game could not be settled last year in regulation. They had to play 2 extra sessions, and Norristown did come up with a 7-point victory in double overtime. Crowd rising to their feet, cheering on the Knights defense. 3rd and goal from the 9-yard line of North Penn. It's a pitch out. It goes. It's a pass into the end zone. And incomplete. So North Penn doesn't bite the fake on the halfback option. They brought in Audley Stewart to throw that halfback pass intended for Damian Solomon, and good defense by North Penn. It looked like Aaron Thomas was back there for the Knights. And it will be 4th and goal from the 9. Norristown, I think, is bringing on their field goal unit. And on to kick is number 80, Terry Pearson. This will be about a 25 or 26-yard attempt, similar to the one that Wes Heinel kicked. This is tougher, though, because he's kicking from the far hash mark. Crowd making a heck of a lot of noise here. High snap, ball is spotted, kick is up. It just gets through the uprights. It is good. 17-7 is the score. As that kick is good, giving Norristown a 10-point lead. 11 seconds left in the half. North Penn will get a chance to run back the kick, but that's about it.
Well, for some kickers, Kyle, that field goal is kind of easier because you just have to pull the ball instead of push it.
Yeah, with a right-handed, or with a right-footed kicker, I should say, that the tendency is to have the ball move from right to left in the air, so that right hash mark kick is a bit easier, although it didn't look like he got all in that football at all. Kind of shanked it, but just by luck alone, it went through the uprights. 17-7 is the score. And Chad, the one thing that we thought when we showed up here tonight, there's about a 20-25 mile an hour stiff breeze blowing from the far side of the field to the near side of the field. The flag here is still right now, so no breeze for the rest of this game, it appears, and we thought that was going to be a factor in the kicking game, and as of right now, it will not be. So the kickoff specialist, Kevin Quaglia, is in for the Eagles. Back deep once again for the Knights, Aaron Thomas and Mike Landis. So with 11 seconds on the clock, it's a little squib kick. It will be taken on one hop by Landis. He has a row of blockers and still is on his feet. Look at him go out to the 50-yard line. 1st and 10 North Penn. 6 seconds to go. They might try one deep shot to the end zone here, set up a possible Hail Mary. They do have 2 timeouts left, but with only 6 seconds on the clock, that's pretty much translated into one play from scrimmage. So actually it's just inside the 50-yard line, so 51 yards to go for North Penn.
Well, Landis must have saw something on that kickoff that I didn't, because I saw a big, huge hole open in the middle of the field. All he had to do was beat one more guy. If he had a block in the middle of the field, the whole thing was open.
Well, North Penn will go into the shotgun formation. I would assume they're going to look for Fitzpatrick on this play. He's on the far side of the field. Talese will roll left. He has pressure coming. Pump fake, sets, fires. It's a wobbly goblin. Incomplete as time runs out. 17-7 is your score after 24 minutes of play here at Crawford Stadium. It's been an exciting game so far. The second half can only get better. A 10-point lead for the Eagles after one half of football here at a chilly Crawford Stadium. Stay with us. After the break, we will have the 500-plus member North Penn Marching Knights along with the 3 middle school marching bands, a special band night here at Crawford Stadium, so stay with us. We'll be back after this.
Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn. Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown up instead. You gotta have an escape plan, and you'll be a step ahead. Don't hide, go outside, get out the door and run. You gotta race to a neighbor's place and down 911. You need smoke detectors that everyone can hear.
How many smoke detectors do you have in your home? Count them.
Remember that where there's fire, there's gonna be a lot of smoke. Falling, crawling, cover your mouth, so smoke can make you choke. Be cool about fire safety. If you don't want to get burned, be cool about fire safety. You got a lot to learn.
When you buy over-packaged products, you're really saying, go ahead, pollute our air and water. So when they tell you to look for less packaging, you tell them you'd rather throw it all away. Buy smart, waste less, save more.
Welcome back to Crawford Stadium. Right now, Crawford Stadium's football field is being overtaken by a 500-plus member middle school marching band, and they're here to perform a very special performance here tonight. It is band night here at Crawford Stadium. We'll remind you to stay tuned immediately following the band's performance tonight. We'll have Coach's Corner for you with Coach Mike Pettin Jr. of the North Penn Knights, and we'll be joined as well by wide receiver Evan Fitzpatrick and wingback and defensive back Aaron Thomas. So I ask you to enjoy this performance by the North Penn Middle School Marching Band, and stay with us. We'll have Coach's Corner immediately following. Enjoy.
Middle School's band in MacArthur Park. Mr. Peter New will direct 25 or 6 to 4 by Chicago. Highlights here. One is music is a science, music is mathematics, music is language, music is history, music is physical education. Going on, there's music in all of these things and more. But above all, music is an art. It allows the human being to take science and technique and create emotion. This is the one thing that science cannot duplicate: human feelings and emotions. This is why we teach music, not because we expect people to produce music majors, not because we expect people to play all their lives, not so you can relax, not so that you can trot around the field in a uniform, but we want you to be more human, so you will recognize beauty, so you'll be more sensitive, especially to the thoughts and feelings put in sound throughout the ages. So you'll be closer to the infinity of your own heart. So you will have something to cling to. So you will feel the beauty of being alive. So you will come to know the value of oneself. That is an article on Why We Teach Music by Gene Gurick and Eric Friedman. Marching Knights will now join the middle school's marching band in the Berlin's God Bless America. This will be conducted by the Marching Knights director, Ted Heller.
Butler. He's a dinosaur. They should rename this place Jurassic Park in his honor.
Dinosaur, huh? Did you know that Shunosaurus and Ankylosaurus dinosaurs were capable of delivering crushing blows with their bony tail clubs?
If education is important to you, talk to your child's school about raising academic standards. Call 1-800-38-BE-SMART for a free booklet and be a big league parent.
Even my third grader knows that.
Smart kid.
Hello and welcome to Coach's Corner for this week's game against Norristown. Joining me today, as always, is Coach Pettin of the North Penn Knights, and also joining me today is Evan Fitzpatrick and Aaron Thomas. Coach, we had two road games previous 2 weeks, first against CB East, of one of your most dominating performances of the season, and then sort of a bump in the road against Neshaminy. But let's first talk about the CB East game. In your opinion, the best game of the year for you guys.
Oh, definitely. I think we played well on both sides of the ball, plus special teams, and that's the type of effort that we need to get. Every night. I mean, we played a team that was ranked pretty high in the area, and we just showed that when we go up and we play the way that we're supposed to, that we can dominate. And I'd like to think tonight that we're going to get that type of effort again.
A really big effort, as you said, by both sides of the line, offensive line and defensive line, thoroughly dominated CB East and wore them out throughout that game.
Sure, and that's where you're going to win games. I mean, you're going to have your backs on both sides that are going to be good players, and you're going to have some quarterback and receivers, and but what makes teams good teams great and average teams good is how they are up front.
Okay, let's jump forward to the Neshaminy game, a 14-13 victory for you guys. The result of that game was not really written in stone until the final minutes of that game. How did you guys overcome Neshaminy there? It was closer than probably you would have liked.
Sure, but good teams will win close games, and you're not going to put forth your best effort every week as much as you want to. And we once again had to deal with adversity, very similar to the Council Rock game. We had some players injured. We lost Chris McKelvey on the first defensive series of the game. We lost Mike Morris somewhere in the first quarter, had a groin pull. Jeff Craig injured his knee in the third quarter. So it was a real challenge for us again, just to replace bodies and get guys in that probably hadn't had a lot of reps in practice. And so it was just another form of adversity, and not to forget that the Neshaminy was playing some pretty good football themselves.
Now, if you go back 4 weeks to CB West when you guys lost, but still a good effort, then you seem to have a letdown the next week against Pennsbury, had a great game against CB East, and sort of a letdown against Neshaminy. It just seems that every other week it seems to be sort of an emotional letdown. Has that been a problem for you guys this year?
Well, I think it's only human nature. I mean, as much as you can pump the guys up, I think those things are going to happen. But we've reached the point of the year that every other is not going to get it done. I mean, it's got to be every week. If you want to be if you want to consider yourselves a team that has a legitimate shot at making a run at a district title and moving on to the state playoffs and playing well there, then you got to show up every week.
Have you treated pretty much every game as a playoff game leading up to this week, which pretty much you control your own destiny?
Yeah, pretty much since the West game, I think we've kind of gone into every game with the playoff mentality. That after the West game, we said, okay, a 4-game season, and we've just counted down each week, and this is what it's all about. It comes down to tonight. It's a 1-game season for us.
Okay, we'll throw it now over to Evan Fitzpatrick, wide receiver for the Knights. Evan, you started off the season, had a career game against Penn Ridge, and it sort of seemed you kind of faded out of the offense a little bit, and then recently you've come back in. You had 2 catches last week against Neshaminy. How have you dealt with that on a week-to-week basis?
Well, it hasn't been really a problem for me because we've still been winning. The reason I faded out is because a lot of times we don't need to throw the ball because we have such a potent running game. And it's just the nature of our league not to have a big passing, kind of offense. So as long as we're winning, I don't really mind not getting the ball. And, when I have to get the ball, catch the ball, then I'm there to do it. So it's fine with me.
Now, being a senior on this team, there's a good solid core of seniors this year. You're not officially a captain, but just explain what you do to help pump the guys up.
Well, I do everything I can. Each week on Thursdays after pregame, Coach Penn goes in and the captains and other leaders talk to the team, and I'm one of the first guys to stand up and start saying stuff to get guys motivated. And I take every opportunity that I can to just get guys excited or pumped up or help them out when they need it or anything like that I can do.
Now, this week against Norristown, it probably won't be too hard to pump this team up.
Yeah, probably not, because everybody knows how much is riding on this game. It's the most important game of the season, and I know everybody wants to win just as bad as I do, so I should have no problem getting them excited.
And especially being a senior, this is your only chance to make the playoffs as far as it goes. So personally, stepping up this week?
Oh yeah, I know I have to play the game of my life, and I know everybody else knows that too. So I'm definitely going to I'm going to leave everything on the field after this game, because that's what we need to beat this team.
Okay, now over to Aaron Thomas, who's been the wing back for the Knights as well as one of the stars on the defensive side of the football. You seem to be the big play guy for North Penn this year, Aaron. I mean, you had a 98-yard run against Abington and a 65-yard run against CB East. Whenever you get the ball, big things seem to happen. How have you taken that responsibility?
Well, I just figure backing up Heike Johnson, great running back, and I just figure I just got to come in, just play the best ability I can play, and whatever happens, happens.
Okay, now also on defense, you lead the team in interceptions with 3. You're usually lined up against the marquee player for the other team. When East split out Brian Scott, you were usually head up on him, and last week against Lovelace from Neshaminy. Now, Norristown throws the football a lot. How do you figure in the defensive scheme this week?
I think we'll have the edge on them because we have great coaches and they give us the schemes which we need to do. And I figured that if we match up with them, against them and have good mental game, then we'll come out on top.
Against Norristown, it's going to be a close game for most predictions. Special teams usually figure into close games. They always do, actually. You're a return man for the Knights. How do you feel that's going to figure in this week?
I think we'll have a great return, and we'll get ball on our good return, so I think we'll do pretty good on that.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. Back to you, Coach. Norristown this week, one of the big teams, the top 4 teams in the Power 10, U, CB East, CB West, and Norristown. I mean, you can't really hype up this game more than it has been. Whoever wins is in. Whoever's out needs a heck of a lot of help to get in.
Yeah, I mean, it's really come down to this, and I think both schools have kind of in the back of their minds been looking forward to this game because I think we knew with who had what coming back that it was going to end up being a big game on the schedule, and as it turned out, it certainly worked out that way. That it's everything for both for both teams. I mean, the team that wins is going to be first ever in the district playoffs. Like you said, the team that loses is going to have to sit and wait for some scores to come back.
Norristown runs probably the most like a pro-style offense out of the Power 10. They throw the ball a lot. They also run the ball a lot. They have a very excellent running back in Swittenberg and a good quarterback in Blake. What do you guys do on defense to match up with a varied offense such as Norristown?
Well, it hurts us a little bit that they have so many talented, skilled players that we really can't focus on Swittenberg and leave their two wideouts and the quarterback really free. So we just have to play, keep it pretty basic. It helps when we get into some situations that we know are definite run situations or definite pass situations. We have some things prepared for those, but it's going to come down to just basic fundamentals. I mean, we're going to line up in base defenses, and hopefully that our guys will be able to beat blocks and get their guys on the ground.
How do you fill in on the offensive line? You're going to be missing McKelvey tonight. Is that going to affect your play calling as far as when the game goes on, running not necessarily as much off tackle, but more up the middle or sweeping even?
Well, it hasn't really changed, or I don't think it'll change the play calling tonight. Where it hurt us against Neshaminy was we had a game plan prepared, surrounding around Chris being at some different positions. So when he went out of the game after only one series, we really had to go back to basic things because we had an offensive line that really hadn't practiced at those positions that they were playing for an entire week. Now this week has helped, knowing that he's not going to be with us, to get each of those guys in their respective positions and get them all coached up and get them the reps that they need.
Okay. Now against Norristown, is your main goal to basically wear down the Eagles and just on the line of scrimmage using both your lines, just kind of smash mouth football, wear them down as you did against CB East?
Well, I think we're going to have to be. I think we're going to have to be balanced offensively. I definitely think we're going to have to throw the football to be successful tonight. My biggest thing is ball control. We did a great job of it against CB East. Keep that clock moving. Keep their offensive guys on the sideline. Let them watch. Because I don't want to get involved where we're constantly turning the ball over to them. We're going 3 and out. Because it's a lot of times when they get the ball, it's hold your breath. I mean, just some of the athletes that they have out there that they can strike from anywhere on the field.
Now, as in the coaching aspect of tonight's game, do you feel that you have to maybe take some more risks on the sideline with play calling, since this pretty much is your season right here?
Well, I don't think I'm going to change my play calling or my style of coaching just for this game. I mean, we've gotten to where we are, using a certain method, and I think that we need to continue with that. But if it gets to the point where we need a big play, or I'm not going to not run a play because I'm afraid to show it, or I want to use it later in the year. I mean, this is it. I mean, everything comes out tonight if we need it.
And then once again, finally, could you update us on the injuries for North Penn? 4 starters out tonight. When can we expect to see them return?
Chris McKelvey, from what I understand, assuming things go well through the weekend, should be back available for us next week. Mike Moore will know more, I think, next Monday or Tuesday regarding his back injury. From what I've heard from the trainer, that we will probably have Jeff Craig back next weekend. And the good news is that a very good chance that Martin Leonard will be back in uniform next week, which I think will be a real shot in the arm for our guys.
Okay, that is a good sign. And thanks to Coach Pettin, Aaron Thomas, and Evan Fitzpatrick for being on our show this week. Right now, we're going to send it back to the second half at Crawford Stadium right after this.
You don't have to like me.
Or you can. You don't have to be my friend, but you might like me if you got to know me.
You don't have to be my roommate.
I am gonna be your neighbor.
You don't have to run with me.
You really don't have to run away from me.
You may not like what I have to say,
but hear me.
Hear me.
Hear me out. Man, we're not all that different. I like good food.
Good music.
I love my mom.
I want to fall in love.
Madly. I want a good job.
I want my kids to live in a world
where they are safe and loved
and respected for who they are.
You don't have to like me, but if you talk to me,
you might.
We can end prejudice if we talk to each other.
Call. Tell us what you do.
Together we can build one America.
What would you do if you had to choose between the buffalo and the giraffes? Between a flower or an elephant? What would you choose? What if you had to decide between a 100-year-old tree and a 1,000,000-year-old beach? Between drinking clean water or breathing clean air? Would you make the right choice? Would there be a right choice? Now there's a way to help. Not just one, but all these things. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. It's one choice we can all live with. Ask your employer about workplace giving.
"24 minutes could be all that is left of North Penn's season. 24 minutes could be all that is left of Norristown's season on this chilly November night at Crawford Stadium. 17-7, the Norristown Eagles are ahead of the favored North Penn Knights here on their home field at Crawford Stadium. It has been a bit of a shocker. North Penn is fired up getting out to this second half. They will be kicking off to Norristown, so the defense is going to have to come up with a stop. They have yet to stop Troy Swittenberg and the very potent, very varied, I should say, Norristown offense. And North Penn's defense is going to have to step up in the second half. Earlier in the season, North Penn down by 12 with 6 minutes to go against Penridge, came back to win 20-19. Against Norristown last year, they were down by 14 points with just a bit over 5 minutes to go and came back to force overtime, although they went on to lose that game. And Chad, it's up to North Penn to win this second half. Right now, they should just look at it as 10-0 Norristown, not 17-7. They trail by 10. They have to outscore Norristown by 11 points or more in this second half to pick up the victory.
Yeah, the only thing they can do right now is just keep pushing their offense, changing strategies, running the ball, controlling the ball, and just use up as much clock as they can get.
Johnson and Audley Stewart back deep to receive. Wes Heinel's kick will be taken by Audley Stewart at his 12-yard line. A wedge up the middle, and Stewart breaks free. He has the corner. He is out to the 35, 40, 45, and knocked out of bounds by Aaron Thomas at that 45-yard line. So right away, Norristown comes up with a big play. Chad, let's take a look at some of the first half stats.
North Penn, Heike Johnson on 9 carries has 47 yards. Kapusta has a 1-yard touchdown run. Total yards for North Penn is 140, and Talese is 4 for 8 with 87 yards. For Norristown, Swittenberg has 15 carries for 90 yards. They're 1 for 1 on field goals. Blake's passing is 6 for 10, 114 yards, 1 touchdown. And Carl Moore, 5-yard touchdown reception. Total yards for Norristown is 218.
So Norristown outgained North Penn in that first half. 11:52 on the clock. We are just underway in the second half. Quickly up the middle, it goes to Audley Stewart, and he has pretty much nothing doing there. So North Penn's defense comes out setting the tone. You know, Chad, I mean, we kind of talked a bit about it at halftime. We can only imagine like what Coach Pettin said at halftime in the locker room for North Penn. Pretty much, you know, all you need to do to motivate this group of football players who are a very motivated bunch, he probably just had to walk in there and say, hey guys, 24 minutes left in your season. Or you could go to the playoffs. It's up to you to determine the outcome of this game. So I expect to see a very fired-up Knights defense in this half. Blake is backed up pass over the middle, almost picked off by Kuckle. It is dropped by Solomon. So it is third and about 8 for the Eagles. If North Penn can come up with a 3-and-out here for Norristown after giving up a huge kickoff return, that would be a great sign for the North Penn defense coming up with a stop. They have yet to hold Norristown to a punt. They have not punted the ball yet this game.
That was a bad choice by Blake throwing to Solomon. He seemed to have had... Never mind, I forget.
Looked like he had Edmonds actually on a streak pass down the sideline. 3rd and 8 for Norristown at their own 47. Blake on the play pass, 7-step drop. He's firing deep. Wide open was Solomon, and it was incomplete. That one, quarterback will tell his wide receiver it's always a bad place to throw it when it's right into the hands of the wide receiver. But it was almost picked off by North Penn's Aaron Thomas. So a 3-and-out for North Penn, or for Norristown, and North Penn will take over. Here's that replay, and geez, Aaron Thomas almost picked up that ball off the deflection from Solomon. So 2 drops by Solomon, and Norristown will be forced to punt for the first time this game. Number 11, Aaron Thomas, standing at his 15-yard line. I believe Audley Stewart is on to punt. Kick is just away. It's a high spiral. Aaron Thomas didn't read it well, and it's going to take a Norristown bounce inside the 15-yard line down to the 13. So North Penn has their work cut out for them, but they do have some momentum building in their direction as they come up with a defensive stand to start the first half. 17-7, Norristown into the lead. Just a shade over 1 minute into the second half here at Crawford Stadium. So we'll see, Chad, if North Penn's offensive philosophy changes here in the second half, as they might have a sense of urgency here. If they go to a ball control offense that we saw in the first half, or if they try to come out and run and gun, pick up some big plays. Heike Johnson lined up in the halfback position behind Mike Kapusta, the fullback. Joe Talese at center. It will go up the middle to Kapusta on the fullback draw, and he'll pick up about 4 yards on the play. A big gain up the middle. 2nd and 6 for North Penn, moving the ball out to their 17-yard line. So it appears, at least judging from that first play, North Penn will stick to the ground game to start this half. North Penn will change formation, sending Evan Fitzpatrick out wide to the far side. Backs in an open set. Quick pitch to Johnson. He's got blockers. He's got the corner, but dragged down by Audley Stewart at the 20-yard line. He'll be 3 yards short of a first down. 3rd and 3 for North Penn.
North Penn on that play needs to get some more players outside. Dave Koslow is trying to take on almost the whole Norristown team.
Yeah, it just looked like like Heike Johnson might have been just one blocker away from turning that corner. He had that one-man Audley Stewart who brought him down. But if Stewart gets blocked on that play, Heike Johnson is pretty much gone. Aaron Thomas splits to the far side of the field, spreading out. The Norristown defense, they show blitz. Long count by Talese. It will go to Johnson off tackle. He is spun down. He is very close to a first down. We'll see where they give him the spot. It appeared that he fell about 1 yard forward in the air. And it will be fourth down. And less than a yard, they're not even going to measure it. Although it appeared that Koslow was asking for a measurement, he's not going to get one. Coach Pettin discussing this play on the sideline with Joe Talese and Evan Fitzpatrick. North Penn bringing in a heavy formation. They'll be bringing in number 41, Ray McKnight, and number 61, Jason Alcott. They're going to go for it, similar to how Norristown went for it in this situation in the first half. They need about a yard. Norristown stacking the line. It goes to Kapusta. He falls forward. Let's see where they spot it. I think he has the first down, and he does. 1st and 10, North Penn. Shoving the ball down the Eagles' throats to pick up the first down. The ball is spotted at the 25-yard line, where it will be first down for the Knights. Pile is slow to clear, and Norristown's number 71, Mike Gwynyard, is all right. It looked like he might have been shaken up, but he'll be staying in the game. 8.5 to go here in the third quarter. 17-7, Norristown is into the lead by 10 points. No scoring yet in the second half. Talese fakes the pitch. It's an inside counter to Aaron Thomas. He is wrapped up nicely by the aforementioned Gwynyard. So Norristown's defensive line, I've been pretty impressed with, Chad. They're big guys, but they really move well laterally, and they've reacted well reading the misdirection plays. North Penn has run that inside reverse twice to Thomas, and he has gone nowhere.
Well, it looks like Thomas thinks he has a hole, and as soon as he starts to run up into the hole, Norristown defense just fills in and clogs it up with like 3 or 4 players.
Talese at quarterback. He's going to run a quick draw, and he's wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made this time by number 30, Jameel Butler. Go ahead, Chad, I'm sorry.
Jameel Butler for Norristown has been playing a pretty well game. He's been in almost every tackle. He's been in the backfield a lot for Norristown.
And good size for Butler, 6'2", 200-pound linebacker. He's only a junior, so he has another year left for Norristown. And he has been an anchor of the defense, and similar to North Penn's Mike Moore of North Penn, number 33, who's been out this game with a groin pull. Talese sets up the center screen to Kapusta, and he dropped the football. That one was set up, and it looked like North Penn could have had a first down, but number 43 dropped it for the Knights, and they're going to have to punt. A play similar to that happened last week against Neshaminy, which made the game a little more exciting than it should have been. North Penn set up a screen to the far side of the field, this time with Heike Johnson, and the play was wide open. They had a wall of blockers in front of them, and Neshaminy was on the wrong side of the field. But Heike dropped the football, so it's 4th and 8 for North Penn. Corson is back to punt. Swittenberg, Corson with a shank of a punt, and will be down by North Penn at the 48. So not giving Stewart or Edmonds a chance to return that punt. I don't know if that was by design or just not a good punt by Corson, who's been struggling tonight with his leg.
I don't think Corson got all that ball. All I saw when he started kicking the ball was dirt flying up off the ground.
So it's 1st and 10 for Norristown at their own 48-yard line, similar to the field position they had to start the half when they went 3 and out. Norristown trying to get the right personnel on the field. They finally have done so. And we'll come to the ball. Audley Stewart is lined up as the halfback. We have yet to see Troy Swittenberg in the second half. Here goes Stewart up the middle. He cuts outside. A great move by Audley Stewart, and he is run out of bounds by Mike Landis after a 15-yard gain. And Chad, we see Audley Stewart, a very worthy backup of Troy Swittenberg. It almost seems like he almost seems to be Swittenberg's twin out there. He runs the same style. And they're both the same size, save for about an inch taller for Audley Stewart, but they really have been identical running backs and give Norristown just a perfect complement when they need to change things up. 1st and 10 for the Eagles on the North Penn 39-yard line. Audley Stewart gets the call again. He's up the middle, and Norristown continues to run through the North Penn defensive line untouched. Linebackers and secondary are making all the tackles for the Knights tonight. And Chad, talking at halftime, we had said that, you know, North Penn on defense has been basically in a read formation, you know, just reacting to where the ball's going. We were saying that North Penn might have to start taking some chances here, slanting some guys into the gaps, stunning the tackles and ends. You know, we really don't know what to expect from North Penn's defense. Now it's Blake back to pass. It's a 5 and out, and it is dropped by the lanky James Edmonds. He would have had a first down had he caught that, but went to go for the over-the-shoulder grab, and it bounced out of his hands.
I believe Kyle, that's Edmonds' first drop of the night.
Yeah, he made a couple beauty catches first half, and that time he just kind of might have tried to turn up field before he caught the ball, but dropped that one. So it is 3rd and 6 for Norristown. Yet another big play if North Penn can hold them, although I believe this would be 4-down territory for Norristown, so they'll probably have to stop him twice. Chris Blake, number 13, under center for the Eagles. He will give to the running back, number 5, Audley Stewart. He is broken free, and he is going to score. Touchdown, Eagles. Audley Stewart, a 35-yard run, and they're in to a 16-point lead, 23-7. Just poor tackling by the Knights. And in a game with this much importance, you have to stop him at the line of scrimmage. And they just gave Stewart a gap, and he shot it, and he is into the end zone. Norristown 23, North Penn 7.
Well, Norristown's been running the same play almost every time they've scored. Run it off tackle, get some men downfield to block, and just hope for some good cuts out of your running back.
Andrew Cook on to kick the extra point for Norristown. Chris Blake, number 13, will hold. The ball is spotted, the kick is up, and that kick is good. It is 24-7. Let's look at Audley Stewart's 35-yard run. One of the biggest plays of the game so far. You see he's bouncing off of people left and right there, and he just outruns Aaron Thomas into the end zone. And, you know, North Penn down by 17. They have to get back in this ball game, Chad, before it is too late. 5:52 to go in the third quarter. Trailing by 17. They need to come up with a touchdown on this possession, you would imagine, or they're, for all intents and purposes, out of this game. Chad, looking at the Norristown sideline, I do not see Troy Swittenberg in uniform on the sideline. So Audley Stewart might just be in this game for the remainder. North Penn might have caught a break with Swittenberg if he's out with an injury. Actually, I see him now. He's being attended to by one of the trainers on the sideline. I can't see what's going on over there. But he has been out of the game for the entire third quarter so far.
Well, maybe North Penn can get lucky and capitalize off of Stewart coming into the backfield a little bit cold, not handling the ball too much, and maybe cause a fumble or two.
Yeah, well, we've seen Stewart, as we said, as an able backup. He's pretty much ran right through the North Penn defense on that 35-yard touchdown run. Here's Quaglia's kick, and it will go out of bounds. North Penn will have the ball at the 35-yard line. I'm not sure if that's a tactic by the Norristown coaching staff to kick away from the return men of North Penn. But Quaglia, that's his second kick out of bounds, and North Penn gets good field position automatically at the 35-yard line. So trailing by 17, Joe Talese talking with Coach Pettin on the sideline. They might go for it all here on this first play, try to get some momentum back into their favor as the wind was kind of taken out of their sails when Audley Stewart ran into the end zone. Heike Johnson lined up in the I formation. It will be a draw to Johnson, and he picks up 5 yards on that play. A good gain by Johnson. He's out to the 40-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 5.
Well, that play right there looked like the old familiar North Penn play. Run it off tackle, get your line moving off the ball, and just hope High Key can make some good cuts for you and get up the field.
Well, number 30 for Norristown, Jameel Butler, who has been having a great game for the Eagles, appears to be cramping up down on the sideline. He's stretching out his left leg. And Chad, you know, we saw it in the first game of this the season against Penn Ridge when it was pretty muggy out here and about 50 or 60, maybe even 70 degrees. Cramping can be a factor. Usually you see that in the late summer, early fall games. But when you get into October, November, you usually don't see cramping happen because usually heat is a main cause of cramps and fatigue. And in this cold conditions, you know, you usually don't see cramps, so he appears to be all right and should return after this play. He does have to come off for one play. 2nd and 4 for the Knights from the 41-yard line. Clock running, 5.5 to go in the third quarter. They trail by 17. Aaron Thomas will split to the far side of the field. Backs in the I formation. Kapusta in front of Johnson. Talese with a long count. Once again, it's up the middle to Johnson, and Norristown is just blocking the holes, and Heike Johnson has nowhere to run. Right there, it was number 66, Yaboa Kabold, who filled up that hole. Johnson gets maybe 1 yard on forward progress, and it will be 3rd and 3 for the Knights at the 42-yard line.
Maybe we'll see North Penn go to the air here, Kyle, and run a little 5 and out to Evan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, well, I would expect either on this play, just in what we've seen this year, we might see a bootleg by Talese. It's a quick pitch, however, to Johnson, and he will have the first down and more. He picks up about 12 yards on that play. 1st and 10 North Penn on a quick pitch to Johnson into Norristown territory at the 45-yard line. Dave Koslow slow to get up on the sideline, but he will jog back to the huddle. He appears to be all right. First and 10 for the Knights. Clock running, 4:25 to go in the third quarter. Twins right for the Knights. They are Fitzpatrick and Thomas. It's a play-action pass. Talese rolling right. He has plenty of time. Throws on the run to Thomas and completes it. Thomas stays in bounds, tries to get more yardage, and does. Down to the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 North Penn. That play was wide open, Chad.
Thomas just found a little pocket, fell into it. Talese saw him and just gunned the ball in.
Yeah, it looked like they had Evan Fitzpatrick as a distraction route on that play. He kind of ran a streak pattern down the field, and Thomas just ran about a 15-yard pattern, turned around, and the ball was right in his numbers before he knew what hit him. And a good ball by Talese, throwing on the run with good accuracy right to the sideline, and Aaron Thomas does a good job of hanging on. Under 4 minutes now in the third quarter. North Penn driving 24-7. They trail the Norristown Eagles. Fitzpatrick and Thomas now are split to the near side. It's the same play to the other side. Talese, he's going to the end zone for Thomas, and it is intercepted, and it's going to be run back and tackled at the 3-yard line is Jim Edmonds. Coaching staff for Norristown probably just wanted him to take the touchback. He had big eyes when he caught that ball, wanted to run it back, but it looked like that was not a good decision by Talese to throw that into the end zone, as there was pretty much triple coverage there. And he underthrew Aaron Thomas, and it was an easy pick for Edmonds.
I'm going to assume that Talese wanted to get his team a little motivated, going, get a touchdown score, get up on the board.
Well, if North Penn can get a turnover here, that would be huge. Ball at the Norristown 4-yard line. Similar situation for Norristown in the first half. They ran right out of their own end zone, and here we go again. Audley Stewart is out to the 35-yard line. A big gain by the junior running back. 1st and 10 for Norristown, running out of the shadows of their own end zone. Chad, just North Penn's defense has to contain this running game of Norristown. They have been running all over North Penn tonight.
Well, Norristown's been shown they have such a great offense. They've been running the ball really well. They've been throwing the ball really well. I mean, there's nobody you can really just control, and you have to control the whole defense. Offense, my fault.
3.5 to go in the third quarter. 24-7 is the score. Backs line up in an I formation. Swittenberg still out of the game. Met in the backfield is Johnson for a 2-yard loss by Fran Mahan and Dave Koslow. Second and along 11 for the Eagles. Ball is at their 32-yard line. North Penn's defense really trying to come up with a stop here. They have yet to stop the Norristown Eagles except for the opening drive of this half, and they couldn't convert that into anything. So North Penn just trying to buckle down here and keep themselves in the game. They trail by 17. Any more points on the board for Norristown, and the Knights are going to be hard-pressed to continue their season into the playoffs. Here goes Audley Stewart around the left end, and he is met and driven back by a host of North Penn players. It will be 3rd and long for the Eagles, and they have been dangerous in 3rd and long situations tonight.
Well, usually on 3rd and long, they've just been throwing the ball out deep to Edmonds.
Yeah, we'll see if the Knights maybe even try to double cover Edmonds. They haven't really had a double coverage situation on Edmonds all night, and he's been pretty much hauling them in from 15 yards and out. So it's 3rd and 11 for the Eagles as a look at Evan Fitzpatrick on the sideline. A little look of disbelief on Fitzpatrick's face. Not expecting to be down by 17. Here's Blake, he's handing up the middle. And Audley Stewart goes nowhere, maybe 3 yards. It will be 4th and 8 for the Eagles, and they will be forced to punt. Aaron Thomas will drop back to receive. (24-7) is the score with 1:40 to go here in the third quarter. A timeout on the field, so one of the Norristown players can tie their shoe. That was number 3, Darrell Johnson. So Aaron Thomas standing at his 30-yard line awaiting the punt. Norristown taking their time to get this punt off. And North Penn does not appear to be attempting a block here. Maybe trying to get some yardage on a return. The punt is away. It's a high spiral. Aaron Thomas is going to let it go. And ball be inside the 30-yard line, down to about the 28, stopping the clock with 1:09 to go here in the first quarter, or in the third quarter. North Penn trails by 27, or by 17. Ball is at the 36-yard line. And Joe Talese comes back in after throwing that interception into the end zone on the Knights' last possession.
Once that ball bounced, it looked like Thomas thought about running up and getting it, but so far this year he's had trouble trying to pick it up off the bounce.
Yeah, it seems like he's had a hard time judging the football off of the punter's foot, and that one dropped in front of him. Here's a fake stand-up pass. Now it goes to Heike Johnson. Ball is loose. They're going to call that incomplete. Chad, we saw that one against Pennsbury, and the call went against North Penn with that fumble call. That time the officials rightly called that one an incomplete pass. Heike Johnson never had control of that football and then dropped it. So an incomplete pass is the call. 2nd and 10 for the Knights at their own 28-yard line.
Well, running that play, if Heike Johnson's covered, you don't really have anywhere else you can dump it off to. You can try and keep it, but you don't have anybody else to give it to because they're trying to block downfield. And so when he does catch the ball, he has somewhere to run.
4 wide receivers for Talese. He rolls left, fires the 10 and out to Fitzpatrick. It is caught. He is close to a first down at the 39-yard line. I believe he has it. Although a dispute over the spot of the ball on the sideline. Doesn't matter. 1st and 10 North Penn out to the 39-yard line. Clock now rolling at 50 seconds to go in the third quarter. So North Penn going to the passing game. So running game has been, for the most part, ineffective tonight. Twins right for the Knights. Fitzpatrick and Thomas. Backs in an open set. It's going to be a play-action pass, and Talese is going to be sacked by number 15, Mike Wilson. A big play by the linebacker going untouched up the middle. And that was just a busted play for North Penn, a 10-yard loss. And they're faced with 2nd and 20. That will most likely bring up the end of the third quarter as there are only 10 seconds left on the clock. So North Penn will probably just march to the other end of the field. And that will be the case as time has run out in the third quarter. 12 minutes left in one of these two teams' seasons. Norristown is up by 17, 24-7. When we come back from this short break, we'll have the final 12 minutes of action. It will be 2nd and 20 for North Penn. Back after this on North Penn Television.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred nights, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
We're back now for the final 12 minutes of action here at North Penn High School. Talese is going deep, and it is tipped and almost intercepted. A great play on the second consecutive play by Mike Wilson. But a flag is down, and it is roughing the passer against Norristown. That's going to be first down for North Penn, an automatic first down and a 15-yard penalty. It appears that the foul is going to be against Yaboa Cabald, number 66. For a late hit on Joe Talese. A big penalty for North Penn. They go from having a 3rd and 20 to having 1st and 10. So, for lack of a better term, a dumb penalty by Norristown gives North Penn a breath of fresh air, and they have 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Ball is actually at the 45-yard line where it is 1st and 10. We're just underway here in the fourth quarter. North Penn hoping this is not the final quarter of their season. Joe Talese is going to roll right. Under pressure, he fires, dumps off to Kapusta. Good decision by Joe Talese to not go to his deep man on that play where there was double coverage on Aaron Thomas. Checked off to Mike Kapusta, is content to get the 6-yard gain, and it is 2nd and 4 for North Penn into Norristown territory.
Well, it's always safer to throw to the shorter pattern and the guy who's running more towards the outside of the field, because if he misses or if you miss him, it has less of a chance of being picked off and going out of bounds.
Well, Chad, in our pregame show, you said that if North Penn or Norristown loses tonight, one of them will lose, of course, to get into the playoffs, Penridge and Coatesville both have to lose their games tonight. The last time we heard at halftime over at Souderton, Penridge was beating the Red Raiders 13-7. Here's a blind screen pass to Heike Johnson, and that one didn't work. He is tackled after a 1-yard gain by Mike Wilson. That's a very dangerous play right there, Chad, because if the defense reads that, that quarterback is turning and throwing without looking. And actually, about 4 years ago, Thanksgiving, North Penn had Keith Reynolds at quarterback back then, and he threw a blind screen pass, and Lansdale Catholic, I remember this, returned it about 80 yards for a touchdown. So that's a very dangerous play. If you can catch the defense off guard, that's great, but that can very easily be a big loss or an interception for the other team. So North Penn, after the 4-yard loss, has 3rd and 9. Talese in shotgun formation, will roll left. Here's the out and up to Fitzpatrick. It is thrown and tipped and intercepted by Norristown. Here comes Audley Stewart. Actually, that's Johnson, and he picks up a 25-yard return out to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 for Norristown.
Once more, Talese is trying to go big, get the offense started, but right now he's causing his team more trouble than help.
So, second interception for Joe Talese in this game. And it was 1st and 10 for Norristown. They'll probably just ground it out with the running game. Try to run some time off the clock. Holding on to a 17-point lead. Audley Stewart staying at the halfback formation. Swittenberg is yet to come back in. Chris Blake is still at quarterback, number 13. He will hand off to Audley Stewart. Slashes at the line of scrimmage and falls forward for close to a 10-yard gain before he's tackled by Mike Landis. And he does have the first down into North Penn territory. Audley Stewart has been the mirror image of Swittenberg in the second half. Under 11 minutes to play here at Crawford Stadium. Norristown 24, North Penn 7. Split out to the near side is James Edmonds, the wide receiver for the Eagles. Has had a very productive night. Here's the pitch. It will go to Stewart, and he will get about 3 yards. He is driven down on that play by Mike Colinello. 2nd and 7 for the Eagles at the North Penn 46-yard line. So North Penn's defense, as they have been for the better part of this game, just hanging on for dear life down there. Just trying to stop Norristown, and they really have had a hard time containing the explosive running backs of the Eagles. Blake drops back, he fires, and is short. Intended receiver on that play was number 17, Edmonds. And it will be 3rd and 7 for the Eagles.
That's the first bad pass I've really seen Blake throw so far tonight.
Yeah, it looked like he was throwing a 5 and out where Edmonds was running a 10 and out. And he just short-handed that perhaps, and Edmonds did not have a chance to catch it. Backs in the I formation. It's going to be a draw to Audley Stewart. Wrapped up at the line of scrimmage by Capusta, but he breaks free, picks up 5 more yards, and is finally tackled by Mike Landis and Mike Colinello. It will be 4th and about 1 for the Eagles. We'll see if they go for it here. I'm not sure.
Well, that's like what we were talking about earlier. It's a lot of individual tackling going on instead of gang tackling, which Coach Pettin probably is not happy to see at all.
Yeah, for almost the whole season, actually, North Penn has really prided itself on having a good gang tackling defense, and that's intimidating to other teams. So pretty much, in my opinion, this is the ball game right here. If North Penn's going to have any chance to come back, they got to stop Norristown on this 4th and short. Blake will give it up to Stewart. He cuts forward, and he has the first down for the Eagles, picking up 5 or 6 yards out to the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Eagles. So Norristown continues to pound the nails into the coffin of North Penn as they keep getting first downs after first down. And the Knights are hanging on by the skin of their teeth right now. 8:58 to go in the ball game. 24-7 Norristown up by 17, has the ball at the North Penn 35-yard line. Stewart this time is stopped after a 2-yard gain by Ray McKnight and Clay Kucklick. 2nd and 8 for the Eagles. So North Penn, even though they have 3 timeouts left, really the clock is against them. And the official had called a timeout, but the clock did not stop. And it will roll once again. Just a shade over 8 minutes to go, possibly a North Penn season. Ball at the 34-yard line, backs in an open set. It's a play-action pass. Blake is going deep for Edmonds, and it is intercepted by Aaron Thomas, I think. And it is 1st and 10 North Penn. Aaron Thomas making a great over-the-shoulder catch. So the Knights have new life. Granted, they're on their 9-yard line, but at least they have the football now. 1st and 10.
Well, this could be the boost that the team really needs right now.
Blake getting a little greedy here, going deep for his man Edmonds, and threw it to the outside, which is usually where you see the quarterback throw on deep passes, and Edmonds made a cut to the inside as Coach Pettin looks on.
Well, Blake did kind of hang that ball up in the air a little.
North Penn into a shotgun formation. Tully is still at quarterback. He's going to roll right. He's under pressure, running for his life, and he guns it. Incomplete. Good job by Tully, showing his speed, running away from a possible safety if he was sacked by Mike Wilson on that play.
Well, once more, he was almost picked off by number 3, Darrell Johnson, while trying to throw it to Evan Fitzpatrick.
2nd and 10 for North Penn. Ball is still at their 9-yard line. Clock stopped with 7:40 to go in the 4th quarter. They trail by 17. Every second counts. North Penn with 3 wide receivers to the right. Fitzpatrick, Thomas, and Johnson. Talese back to pass. Ball is deflected at the line of scrimmage by number 78, Doug White, the 305-pounder. And that one went straight into the ground. 3rd and 10 for the Knights now. Might see him go deep here.
Talese didn't have too much of a chance getting that ball out of the backfield. The pocket was collapsing around him, and he didn't have that big of a lane to try and get it to Fitzpatrick.
Well, down on the sidelines, Chad, I see Jared Gamble has his pads off. I don't know if he got injured earlier in this game. Maybe I just didn't pick it up, but he is not in uniform for the North Penn Knights. He had a big fumble recovery for them last week against Neshaminy. Talese, he's firing deep for Johnson. It is picked off by Trey Hadrick, and he could go, but he is stopped at the 6-yard line by North Penn. And, you know, you can't blame Talese on that one. He's got to throw the ball for a 1st down. Maybe just a bit underthrown. And Norristown will try to punch this one in. We'll see if we can get another look at that play on the replay. Joe Talese just kind of double pumped, threw a nice ball, but a good jump there by Trey Hadrick to get up and catch that. It looked like Heike Johnson was going to be able to catch that, but Hadrick showing his vertical ability, jumping up to grab that one, and that one pretty much ices this one for Norristown. There are over 7 minutes to go in the game, we should mention, so you never know what can happen, especially between these two teams. Blake still at quarterback. He will hand up the middle to Audley Stewart, who falls forward to the 4-yard line, a pickup of 4 yards on that play. 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. And just to bring you up to date on the North Penn schedule, should they not make the playoffs, they will play at Easton next Friday night. That's up in District 11. A short trip up the Northeast Extension. They will play the Easton Red Rovers next week should they not make the district playoffs. And as we said, Chad, they're going to need a lot of help to get into the district playoffs should they lose tonight. Fran Mahan, the injured Knight, down on the field being attended to. Once again, it appears that maybe he is cramping up. It looks like they're looking at his calf. Now, it might just be an ankle problem as you see his shoe being unlaced.
Well, earlier, Kyle, you were talking about Jared Gamble walking around on the sideline without his pads on. When they came back out from half, he was walking around holding an ice pack on the back of his neck.
He may just have gotten his bell rung there in the first half as you see the steaming head of Corey Jackson. I'm not sure if that's because it's so cold out or he's just angry that North Penn is losing by 17 points right now. He would much rather have North Penn on the upside of this scoreboard as the Knights see their regular season dwindle down. That game against Easton is an exhibition game. And of course, should LC be knocked out of the playoffs, if they even qualify for the AAA PIAA playoffs, we will have that game on Thanksgiving, the traditional rivalry between Lansdale Catholic and North Penn. But North Penn would much rather be in the playoffs, although it seems to be a long shot at this point in the game. Fran Mahan will be hobbling off the field as Larry Cannon is coming into the game. Now he's just going to help him off the field, actually. Mahan not able to put any weight on his right ankle. He is visibly in pain. That's just an unfortunate break for Mahan, the sophomore, who is the only sophomore starting in the North Penn lineup. And as you can see, visibly in pain. You have to feel for Fran Mahan. He did a good job proving himself to the coaching staff this whole year, coming up with big plays on defense when they needed it. And he is coming off the field. And we just got an update that Penridge is ahead by 12 points over Souderton with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So North Penn has to pull this one out. They control their own destiny, Chad, and if they can't win tonight, they're going to have to travel to Easton next week for an exhibition game. Here goes Johnson up the middle. Touchdown, Eagles. Now into a 23-point lead. It is 30-7 here at Crawford Stadium. A 4-yard run up the middle by Darrell Johnson.
I'd hate to say it, Kyle, but that could be the nail in the coffin for this game.
Yeah, that pretty much could do it. But, you know, you can never rule North Penn out. They've been a second-half team all season long. But it's going to take a pretty tall order right now to come back with under 7 minutes to go and 23, possibly 24 points down after this kick by Andrew Cook. The ball is spotted. It's a high snap. Kick is up. And this one is good, just inside the right upright. 31-7, Norristown into the lead. Let's take a look at the 4-yard run by Johnson up the middle, just falling forward. And Chad, you know, you brought Fran Mahan out the play before due to an injury, and you know that play would have been right up at Fran Mahan had he been in the game. So Norristown exploiting North Penn missing yet another starter, and injuries have really plagued the Knights, as we said, missing 4 starters tonight. They've already lost Jared Gamble and Fran Mahan. So they've become basically the walking wounded out there. And, you know, North Penn really missed Chris McKelvey, Mike Moore, Martin Leonard, Jeff Craig, and now Fran Mahan. They have been key injuries for North Penn. And it's just unfortunate that they couldn't play Norristown at 100%. So Norristown up by 24 with 6:50 to go here at Crawford Stadium. On to kick once again for Norristown is Kevin Quaglia, the squib kick specialist. Back deep to receive, Mike Landis and Aaron Thomas standing at their 14-yard line. It's another squib kick. This will be taken by Mike Kapusta at his 25-yard line. Runs over one man and gets out to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, North Penn. Quaglia, the kicker, actually brought down Kapusta. Or you might even want to say Kapusta brought down Quaglia. It looked like Quaglia got the worst of that one.
Well, that was one of the biggest hits I've seen tonight, though.
1st and 10, North Penn at their 33-yard line. They have 3 timeouts left. As right now, Dan Chang is out of the game on the sideline. He's having his wrist looked at, so Jason Alcott is into center for the Knights. Quick 5 and out to Thomas. He cuts up. Still going, gets the first down and a 12-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and 10 for North Penn at their own 45-yard line. First down stops the clock with 6:36 to go.
Looks like North Penn's going out of a hurry-up.
Yeah, no huddle for North Penn. Time is of the essence, obviously. Talese at quarterback in the shotgun formation. He will roll left. Plenty of time to throw, but he is stepping up in the pocket, and he is met for a loss in the backfield. Ken Boyle, number 68, picks up the sack, and he drops him back close to 10 yards. Let's take a look at this replay. Talese initially looked like he had plenty of time right there, didn't have a man open, ran up into the pocket and was met by Boyle. 2nd and 17 for North Penn at their 39-yard line. Clock running, 5:55 to go in the ball game. Talese, 3-step drop, throwing the out pattern to Fitzpatrick. It is caught, but immediately met by Norristown's Don Vaughn. After an 8-yard gain, it will be 2nd, 3rd actually, and 8 for North Penn.
Well, it looks like Norristown's kind of going into a defensive mode, giving the receivers a little bit of yards to catch the ball, but as soon as they do, coming up and meeting them.
5:15 to go in the ball game. 3rd and 8 for North Penn at their own 47-yard line. 4 wide receivers for North Penn: Thomas, Johnson, Colinello, and Fitzpatrick. Pass is complete to Aaron Thomas. He ran backwards. He had the first down and took a couple steps backward, and he's now short of the first down. The officials will give you forward progress if you're met by a defender, but that time Aaron Thomas took it upon himself to run backwards, and it will be 4th and 2 for North Penn. They're going to go for it, obviously.
Well, right there, he's trying to get his team psyched. You know, it's only 4 minutes left, try and get something going, and just ran the wrong way.
4th and 2 for the Knights. If they have any hope of staying in this ball game, they have to get this first down. Kapusta comes into motion. It's going to be a quarterback draw for Talese, and look at him go. He still is loose and is knocked down at the 30-yard line after picking up close to 15 yards on a first down, brought down by Mike Wilson. 1st and 10 North Penn at the 30-yard line. They're out of the no huddle. 4:15 to go in the ball game. Shotgun formation. Kapusta standing next to Talese. He will roll left, and he will fire behind Johnson, but he pulls it down, cuts up, and he gets about 9 yards. Flag on the play. That'll stop the clock with 4:03 to go. We'll see what this infraction is. It is a face mask against Norristown. That'll be usually a 15-yard penalty, but it'll just be half the distance to the goal line and an automatic first down for North Penn. That should spot the ball at the Norristown 11-yard line. So North Penn catches a break at the end of that play, and they will get a first down from the Norristown 11-yard line. Clock now rolling, 4 minutes and counting in the ball game.
Well, that's exactly what North Penn needed to do at the start of this half, Kyle.
Yeah, they're starting to move the ball well, but too little too late for the Knights. Joe Talese rolls right, under pressure, guns it into the end zone area, but short of the end zone is Fitzpatrick. He had come back out to catch that ball. He's down to the 1-yard line. That might be a first down. They can get a first down before scoring. The officials taking a look at it, and they will give North Penn a first down. So 1st and goal from inside the 2-yard line. 3:42 to go in the ball game. Clock starting. North Penn with a full house backfield. Johnson lined up at halfback. Kapusta and McKnight, the up men. False start by North Penn. That's going to cost him 5 yards. Matty Bargwin, number 70, jumped for North Penn. So once again, red zone trouble for North Penn continues. Let's take a look at this jump by Matty Bargwin, just simply not knowing the snap count. Well, that was the tail end of it. Matty Bargwin just pretty much jumped. He was the only guy that moved. on the line. So it is 1st and goal now from the 6-yard line. .341 on the clock. North Penn trails 31-7. Trying to get some respectability back by scoring here. Kapusta is the up man. It's a quick pass to Colinello. He wasn't even looking for that ball. Incomplete. It will be 2nd and 6. 2nd and goal from the 6 for North Penn. .338 on the clock in the 4th quarter here at Crawford Stadium. Second and goal, trips left from the Knights. Fitzpatrick, Colinello, and Johnson. Aaron Thomas, the lone wide receiver to the right side of the field. It's a quick pass to Thomas, caught, touchdown Knights. Aaron Thomas, 31-13 on the 31-13 on the quick slant to Thomas, and North Penn is on the board in the second half. Coaches are calling for a 2-point conversion. As the Knights trail by 18 points. They're just going to try to get back as many points as possible here, going for 2. And we could probably imagine seeing an onside kick after this, see if North Penn can get the ball back. So the ball is spotted at the 3-yard line where it will be a 2-point conversion attempt for the Knights. They send 4 wide receivers out wide. Fade pattern thrown to Fitzpatrick. He pushes off and is knocked down, no flag, incomplete. Conversion has failed, so North Penn misses the conversion. It's 31-13. Here's a great shot. Good camera work down there, guys. On the sideline, the quick pass to Aaron Thomas into the end zone. It's actually a procedure penalty against North Penn, but that penalty will obviously be declined. Norristown will decline that penalty. North Penn will be kicking off, most likely an onside kick. We have yet to see an onside kick this year for North Penn, as they have usually been in the lead late in the ball game. Here they trail by 18 points. And with 3:34 to go and all 3 timeouts left, nothing's impossible. So the coaching staff of North Penn, special teams coordinator, trying to align their kickoff team on the sideline, and here they come. Usually what you'll see on this kickoff team is a hands team, they call it. They'll send out their guys with the best hands on the team. Here they have Aaron Thomas, among others, Dan Brown, Brick Spurio, Mike Yeager, Larry Cannon, and Sid Anand. And they're not showing which side they're going to onside kick to, and they have both Corson and Heinel on both kickers, so we might see a fake one way and a kick the other way. Norristown stacking both sides of the line, anticipating this onside kick. So here we go. Heinel kicks it. It's got to go 10 yards, and it does not, but it is dropped. Fumble is loose. Ball's loose. North Penn football. I am very surprised by that, Chad. James Edmonds did not have to touch that football. It didn't go 10 yards. He did. He dropped it, and North Penn recovered it.
Well, it's the second time Edmonds has done something very unnecessary for his team.
So it is 1st and 10 North Penn. Let's take a look, see where we can pick up where Edmonds drops this football. We thought that, you know, they're going to fake here, and Heinel just kind of kicks it right toward our camera. And here comes Edmonds in to pick up the football, and he drops it. So here it is, 1st and 10 North Penn. Talese, he's going over the middle. It is picked off, flag on the play. This might be coming back on pass interference. We'll see. This is the 2nd interception of the game for Trey Hadrick, but we'll see what this flag means. It could be pass interference. The officials will hold a conference to figure out this call. Because against Norristown, the interception will not count. It's actually 12 men on the field for Norristown. They had 12 guys on the field. And they still do. So they haven't fixed that problem yet. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, I believe, and an automatic 1st down for North Penn. So they'll assess the penalty from the line of scrimmage. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Knights. So just not knowing the right personnel cost the Eagles 15 yards, and with 3:17 left, North Penn is getting better and better field position. They have 1st and 10 at the 36-yard line of Norristown. Talese in a shotgun formation, trips to the left. Talese fires across the middle. It is picked off by Mike Wilson, and he falls on the football. That was a rocket over the middle to Heike Johnson. And North Penn conceding defeat will bring in some of their second team defense. Let's take a look at this play coming over the middle to Heike Johnson. On a cold night like this, you don't have as much feel for the ball, and it went right through Johnson's hands, and standing right there, Mike Wilson makes the interception. So second team defense on for North Penn, and I believe Norristown has put in some of its backups, although Blake is still at quarterback. So it is 1st and 10 for the Eagles at their own 35-yard line. Blake under center. Hands off up the middle. It goes to Stewart, and he picks up 5 yards, where it will be 2nd and 5 at the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Colonello. Under 3 minutes to go now in the ball game. So Norristown is sticking with their first team. I'm kind of surprised by that. You know, they will be going on to the District 1 playoffs now, and you know, you wouldn't want to see them risk injury to their starters, especially their skill position players such as Blake, Stewart, and Johnson, who are all still in the game. Blake will give off to Audley Stewart. Once again, he picks up 10 yards, maybe more, and a 1st down into North Penn territory at the 46-yard line. 2:15 to go in the ball game. Clock running now. It is 1st and 10 for the Knights, or for the Eagles, I should say, at the North Penn 47-yard line. Norristown will use, for the most part, all the 25 seconds allotted to them for this play and for the rest of the plays in the ball game, as the crowd has been silenced in the second half as Norristown came out and got a big enough lead to put this thing away. By the time the 4th quarter started, they pretty much knew they were going to win. Stewart off tackle goes 3 yards. He's stopped by Ray McKnight. 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. Into the final 85 seconds of football here at Crawford Stadium. As Norristown will just run the clock out. Once again, Stewart goes off tackle and picks up about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd and a long 3 for Norristown at the North Penn 40-yard line. As time continues to wind down, under 45 seconds to go now in the ball game.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Norristown run one more play to get the 1st down than just kneel on the ball.
Yeah, that would pretty much be the order right here, Chad. They only have to run one more play from scrimmage, and that should just about do it for the ball game. And they don't even need to get a 1st down. Blake will run the quarterback sneak up the middle, and that should just about do it for this game. Norristown has come away from Crawford Stadium with a 31-13 victory, clinching their spot in the District 1 playoffs for the first time in school history. They will improve to 9-1. North Penn will drop to 8-2 on the season. A dejected bunch of Knights, an excited bunch of Eagles, as North Penn will probably not make the District 1 playoffs. They had a chance but could not come up with a win this week. when they needed it most. So look for North Penn to be at Easton High School next week for a pickup game just to fill their schedule out. And Norristown will play the number 3 seed in the District 1 playoffs. They will have a home game next week. We will be back after this short break. I will move down to the field and talk with Coach Mike Pettin of the North Penn Knights, and Chad will have a couple final stats for you after this break on North Penn Television. Stay with us.
Be cool about fire safety.
Did you know that many fires started because kids played with matches and lighters? It's really sad. The fire started with matches and lighters, hurt thousands of people last year. Like parents and grandparents? And brothers and sisters. If you ever see matches or lighters, don't touch them. Somebody left out matches and a lighter.
Remember,
Wow!
keep your eyes open, and if you see these, tell a grown-up right away. But never touch them, and you'll be a real superhero.
Like a deputy fire marshal?
Exactly.
Don't touch matches or lighters. Tell a grown-up instead. Be cool about fire safety.
Here's my nephew Scruff, about to run into trouble again.
Hey, Bobo, where's your video game? In here. Well, look at this. Uh-oh. It's my dad's. You want to hold it? What'll I do?
You'll see, but that's not the only problem he has.
Hey, here's a shortcut. Not down there, Square. I don't think it's safe. Come on, the coast is clear. I'm not taking a chance, Lance. Oh, no. Well, hello, Dogface. Come to give us your sneakers?
Uh-oh, trouble again, Scruff. What are you gonna do now?
I don't know.
If you get my new comic activity book, More Adventures with Scruff, you'll find out what you can do about bullies, drugs, and guns.
Am I the hero again?
You'll see. And you'll see lots of games.
Cool.
For your free copy of my new comic activity book, write Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. Scruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois, 60652. And you'll be helping take a bite out of crime.
I want it.
Earthshare. The world's leading environmental groups working together.
We're back now at Crawford Stadium. North Penn obviously losing 31-13. We're going to have to take the interview off the side of the field as North Penn's here. Now with Coach Pettin. Coach, obviously not the way you wanted to go out tonight. 31-13, tough loss. You know, it seemed like Norristown came out with Swittenberg and then with Stewart. And before you know what hit you, you were down big.
Yeah, we knew we couldn't get off to a slow start against this team. It's unfortunate. I'm just disappointed in the effort that we gave. You got to come up big in big games, and you know, obviously wasn't one of our better efforts. You know, and a lot of credit goes to them. You know, we don't want to make excuses. You know, we had a ton of kids banged up, but you got to play. You know, and unfortunately, we came up small.
Do you feel, as you said, those injuries might have had something to do with the result?
Oh, you look at the score. I mean, they handled us. I don't know how much difference those couple extra guys would have made. You know, you'll never know.
Okay, Coach. Best of luck to you against Easton next week, and we'll see you on Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll send it up now to Chad Powell for some stats. Chad, up to you.
All right, thanks, Kyle. North Penn had a total of 250 yards. Hakeem Johnson had 14 carries for 72 yards. Mike Capusta had a 1-yard TD run. Talese went 13 for 27, 165 yards passing, and 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. Norristown had a total of 358 yards. Stewart had 18 carries, 112 yards, 2 touchdowns. Switenberg, 15 carries, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. And Blake's passing, he was 6 for 15, 86 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Now let's go back down to Kyle on the field. All right, thanks everybody. We have to wrap this up now. Here's the North Penn marching notes.
Marching Knights finale is the old personal theme played by the brass, which is embellished by the wordsmith. starting with the Piccolo playing Benjamin versus Hughes.